Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of America's most infamous and, honestly, most baffling cold cases, the hunt for the Zodiac Killer. I mean, for more than half a century, this one question has been haunting investigators. It's inspired a whole generation of armchair detectives, and it really defines one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in American crime history.
So, 37. That's how many people a serial killer who actually named himself Zodiac claimed he murdered. And this was all during his reign of terror over Northern California back in the late 60s.
And this number? 0. That's how many people have ever been caught or convicted for those crimes. He was, for all intents and purposes, a perfect phantom. All right, so how on earth did he pull it off? To even begin to understand this whole mystery, we have to look at the guy's method. He was a master at controlling the public narrative. And then, poof, he just vanished. Okay, so the official definition, you see, the police officially link him to at least 5 murders in Northern California around 68 and 69. But his real impact was so much bigger. This guy wasn't just a killer. He was a performer, a terrorist who taunted everybody, police, the public, through these crazy letters and ciphers. And then, in 1974, he just stopped. The communication ceased, and the case, well, it's still wide open today.
Right, and this is so key to understanding him. He wasn't just a killer in the shadows. No, he was a performer who used the media as his personal stage to build this absolutely terrifying public persona.
Just listen to this. I like killing people because it is so much fun. This was the chilling message waiting at the end of his very first coded message, his first cipher. And get this, who cracked it? It wasn't the FBI, it wasn't some elite team of cryptographers, it was a local high school teacher and his wife, just working on it at their kitchen table. See, the Zodiac was turning everyone into a player in his sick, twisted game. And with every single letter, every single taunt, he signed off with this symbol. A circle with a cross right through it. This wasn't just some signature. It became his brand, a logo for his campaign of terror. It's a trademark that, even today, is instantly recognizable.
And look, this wasn't just some random rambling. This was a full-on, calculated campaign of terror. He sent letters to 3 major newspapers, and he packed them with details that only the real killer could possibly know. He threatened more attacks if they didn't publish his letters. He even sent a bloody piece of a victim's shirt as proof. I mean, can you imagine? And all the while, he's just taunting the police for not being able to catch him, and terrifyingly, he threatened to attack a school bus. That sent an absolute wave of panic across the state.
And the thing is, these weren't just empty threats. His taunts were backed up by a trail of brutal and what seemed like totally random attacks. This paralyzed whole communities with fear. Okay, just look at this timeline. It really shows you the terrifying pace of his confirmed spree. We're talking December 1968, a young couple shot and killed. Then July 69, another attack. September 69, another one. October 69, a taxi driver in San Francisco. That's 4 separate attacks, 5 murders, and 2 people left wounded, all in less than a year. The locations were all over the place, from a secluded lover's lane to a busy city street. There was no clear victim type, and that randomness is what was so terrifying. It made it feel like literally anyone, anywhere, could be next.
But that official count of 5 murders? That might just be scratching the surface. There are at least 5 other killings, including the stabbing of a young woman named Sherry Jo Bates back in '66, that have been tentatively linked to the Zodiac. So the true victim count? Well, that remains a huge part of this entire mystery.
So this is the big question, right? You've got survivors, you have eyewitness descriptions, you literally have letters from the killer himself. So why has no one ever been charged? Well, the answer seems to be buried in this incredibly long and confusing list of suspects and theories that have just been swirling around for decades. And this was supposed to be the face of the Phantom. Police put out this composite sketch back in 1969, right after the murder of the taxi driver, Paul Stein, and it was everywhere. But it ended up becoming a symbol of the investigation's complete frustration. I mean, they had a face to look for,
But the man behind those glasses has managed to stay a ghost for more than 50 years.
Okay, this table really shows you just how complex this case is. The list of suspects is wild. You have Arthur Lee Allen, who for the longest time was the prime suspect. Police questioned him, but they never had enough to nail him. Then there's Earl Van Best Jr., who was accused by his own son in a book, pointing to how much he looked like the sketch. More recently, in 2021, a team of cold case investigators named Gary Francis Post, though law enforcement pushes back on that one. And then there's the theory that maybe it wasn't one person at all, but a group of killers. So many theories, so many possibilities, and not a single one has ever been proven for sure.
So, you'd think after the letters just suddenly stopped in 1974, the case would have gone cold. But no way. It has just kept evolving, constantly fueled by new clues and, let's be honest, an absolutely endless fascination from the public. Think about this. 51 years. That's how long it took, until 2020, for a team of amateur codebreakers to finally crack one of his most complicated ciphers. And what did they find? More of the same old stuff. Arrogant, misspelled taunts about how he's not afraid of the gas chamber because it'll send him to, and he spells it P-A-R-I-D-I-C-E all the sooner, because he'll have enough slaves to work for him. It's like a message from a ghost, delivered half a century too late.
You know, the fact that he was never caught means his story never really got an ending. Instead, it just became this permanent fixture in pop culture. I mean, he inspired the villain in the movie Dirty Harry way back in 1971. Robert Graysmith wrote his famous book in '86. David Fincher's amazing film Zodiac brought the whole case to a brand new generation in 2007, and it's still going. We've had recent docuseries in 2023 and 2024 proposing new theories and re-examining old evidence. This mystery just keeps finding ways to captivate us.
So at the end of the day, the Zodiac case isn't just some dusty old file sitting in a basement somewhere. It's still an active mystery. With new DNA technology and new theories popping up all the time, the next breakthrough could be just around the corner. But it leaves us with that one big question, the one that's haunted us for over half a century. Will the ghost who terrorized your generation ever be unmasked?